three-man panel of justices at the Federal Court of Appeal in Enugu State have upheld the decision of the lower high court that had earlier sentenced a staff of Guaranty Trust Bank, GTBank, Onyekachi Nwosu to 7 years imprisonment in line with the enacted Nigeria law of failed banks or recovery of debts and financial malpractices act, which the convict fraudulently used the property of one Mrs Adebimpe Foluke to apply and disburse 50 million naira's loan into the savings account of GTBank customer and withdrew 40 million naira's of the money from the beneficial savings account for his personal use. This is coming at a critical period. Many Nigerians are doubting the credibility and integrity of GTBank management after a popular human rights activist, Martin's Vincent Otse aka VeryDarkMan, was arrested last Friday at the exit gate of GTBank branch in Abuja by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, when the activist went with his mother to seek clarification over apparent unauthorized constant savings withdrawals as loan repayments from his mother's savings asset with the bank, with the activist's mother saying she never took loan from the bank, and EFCC arresting and releasing VeryDarkMan after almost 5 days in detention without specifically stating the alleged offense or offenses committed by the activist may have created room for some level of insinuations in certain quarters that sees GTBank management as people probably using the state security assets to commit act of criminal intimidation and oppression of complainers to cover up the bank's suspected loan fraud and financial malpractices. According to EFCC news release made available about an hour ago, the Enugu Division of the Court of Appeal has upheld the conviction and 7 years prison sentence of one Onyekachi Nwosu, a former employee of Guaranty Trust Bank, for his commission of over 50 million naira, loan fraud. Nwosu was prosecuted by the Enugu Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a 9-count charge, bordering on forgery and obtaining by false pretense to the tune of 50 million naira, and was convicted and sentenced by Justice R.O. Dugbo Oghoghori of Federal High Court, sitting in Independence Layout, Enugu, on January 14, 2021. The convict, who was an account officer of one Anyaso Shindu, owner of Floxy Aluminum Audioful Products Limited, used a forged document titled, An Application to Mortgage, Consent to Mortgage and Tripartite Legal Mortgage, to deceive GTB into believing that one Mrs Adebimpe Foluke pledged her property as collateral for the said loan to Floxy Aluminium Audioful Products Limited. Investigations revealed that he benefited 40 million naira from the fraudulent act by directly withdrawing it from the account of Floxy Aluminium Audioful Products Limited. In the course of his trial, Prosecution Counsel, Assistant Commander of the EFCC, Ace 2 Main Sadaka Ekwu, called 4 witnesses and tendered 16 exhibits which were admitted in evidence as Exhibit EFCC 1-16. At the end of the trial, Justice Oghoghori held that the EFCC proved its case beyond reasonable doubt and convicted and sent. Hundreds of passengers ran out of 2 planes on Tuesday early morning night at San Francisco International Airport in the United States, after United Airlines flight Boeing 877 heading to Hong Kong kissed the wing of another United Airlines flight 863 destined for Sydney in Australia, with some level of damages to both aircrafts while on ground operations preparing for takeoff, forcing almost 5,000 passengers inside the 2 large air carriers to deplane, and according to the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, the incident did not cause harm to any of those on board the planes. This, the United Airlines saying it has removed the 2 planes from services to enable the aircraft engineer diagnose the level of damages and recommend appropriately for their repairs. Fazat News Media stated that, in the early morning hours at San Francisco International Airport, a moment of unexpected chaos unfolded as 2 United Airlines Boeing 777s, massive machines carrying the hopes and plans of hundreds of passengers, collided on the tarmac. The incident, which occurred during routine ground operations, left travelers shaken but unharmed, and cast a spotlight on the intricate dance of aircraft movements at one of the nation's busiest airports. United Flight 877, bound for Hong Kong, and United Flight 863, destined for Sydney, became the center of attention as their wingtips grazed in a jarring encounter that halted both journeys before they could begin. The collision took place shortly after dawn, as Flight 877 was being pushed back from its gate, a standard procedure where a tug vehicle maneuvers the aircraft away from the terminal. At the same time, Flight 863 was taxiing nearby, navigating the complex network of taxiways that crisscross the airport. The two planes, both Boeing 777-300ERs, made contact in a slow but forceful scrape, leaving visible damage to their wingtips. Passengers aboard both aircraft, some of whom were preparing for long-haul international flights, experienced a moment of confusion as the planes came to an abrupt stop. San Francisco International Airport, a hub for United Airlines, is no stranger to the high-stakes choreography of ground operations. With planes moving like pieces on a chessboard, the margin for error is razor-thin. Yet, this incident underscored the challenges of managing such operations under pressure. Ground crews and emergency responders acted swiftly, cordoning off the area to assess the damage and ensure the safety of all involved. Remarkably, no injuries were reported, a testament to the protocols in place and the quick response of airport personnel. United Airlines, in a statement released shortly after the incident, expressed regret for the disruption to passengers' plans and emphasized its unwavering commitment to safety. The airline confirmed that both aircraft were removed from service for detailed inspections, a process likely to involve engineers poring over every inch of the damaged wingtips to determine the extent of repairs needed. For passengers, the cancellations meant rebooking on later flights, with some facing delays of several hours or more as United scrambled to accommodate them on alternative routes. Kano State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has arrested an 18-year-old woman, Saudat Jibril, for allegedly killing her husband, Salisu Idris, by thus cutting his throat with a knife while he was asleep on Tuesday early morning night at Farawa community in Kumbotso local government area of Kano State, barely 9 days after they held their wedding ceremony. According to a statement issued by the command's spokesperson, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, the incident occurred at about 12:35 a.m. in Farawa quarters of Kumbotso local government area. The suspect, Saudat, is accused of slitting the throat of her 30-year-old husband, Salisu Idris, with a sharp knife while he was reportedly asleep. Upon receiving the report, the Commissioner of Police, CP Ibrahim Adamu Bakori, PhD, swiftly deployed a team of detectives to the scene, the statement reads. The victim was rushed to Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, where he was confirmed dead by medical personnel. The suspect is currently in custody at the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, Homicide Section, and police say she will be charged to court for the offense of culpable homicide. While the motive behind the killing remains unclear, the police confirmed that investigations are ongoing. The Commissioner of Police condemned the act, emphasizing the command's zero tolerance for violence and criminal activity in the state. We will not tolerate any form of violence or criminality in Kano State, CP Bakori stated. The command is committed to conducting thorough investigations to ensure justice is served. According to Wikitimes, a news media with special focus on northern Nigeria communities, the incident, which occurred late Monday night, has sent shockwaves through the neighborhood. Witnesses said Saudat lured her husband into a fatal trap by asking him to close his eyes for a surprise, before slitting his throat with a knife. A neighbor and eyewitness, Dini Mada, told Wikitimes that Salisu managed to identify his wife as the attacker before succumbing to his injuries later in the hospital. I asked him, who did this to you? He said, Dini, it's my wife who stabbed my neck with a knife in the parlor. She asked me to close my eyes so that she would surprise me, but I didn't know that she had hidden her knife somewhere. She cut me in the neck. Dini narrated his conversation with late Salisu shortly after the incident. He added, we met that very night and said good night to each other. He entered his house, and I entered mine. Like 10 minutes later, his mum, whose house is attached to her son's own, called me and said some people attacked Salisu. But on reaching there, we found that his throat was slit. The suspected killer wife reportedly locked herself in a bedroom and was discovered by police during a search. She was on the phone when police arrived, and they arrested her. "We did not even know that she was still in the house," the witness stated. According to Dini, a close friend of the deceased disclosed that the couple had unresolved tensions that only a few close allies of the victim are aware of. Despite their pre-wedding affection, she refused to consummate the marriage and often declined to cook for him. On the night of the murder, Salisu purchased bringing you the news in a more digital way.